Hello and welcome to Rocket League. I am the Expert Layman, and this is how Rocket League dies. Let me do a little audio check, make sure that things are coming through properly. And they are. C.S. Eliot has that famous line, this is how the world ends, this is how the world ends, this is how the world ends, not with a whimper. Or, damn it, I screwed it up. Not with a bang, but a whimper. And that's what's going to happen with Rocket League. And I was trying to keep an open mind when I was talking about the patch notes, because it just looked like it was all bad news. Like, I'm just going to say it. Epic, and they're the ones pulling, calling the shots and pulling the strings, has essentially decided to feed their friendly cooperative players to the toxic players because it'll make them money. And that's essentially what it is. Casual is done. It has become immensely more toxic. And it's exactly what you'd expect. Like, ranked was always way more toxic than casual. It's like, well, that's because that's ranked and that's casual. But the real reason that there was such a difference is if you're a dick, people will leave casual. And the dicks know this, so they won't be as... So they will try to dial back being a dick so that people just don't leave their games. But when they know that people are much less likely to leave because, Epic will punish them, they will become more toxic, and that's exactly what happened. Like, the escalation is, like, right off the bat. Like, almost every game, there's somebody who just bails on a kickoff, like, right at the beginning. And that used to be so much more rare. And be like, oh, sometimes people... It's like, yeah, but how often do you do that? Like, I feel terrible, and I always apologize, but it happens, I don't know, maybe once or twice a week. And for it to be happening at the start of almost every game with, randos queuing, it's bad. It's really bad. And they know that people can't leave, and they will just drive right by the ball. They will play. They aren't afraid to play at sub-bronze level until they've handed like 2 or 3 goals to the other team, and then they make it look like they're trying to make a game out of it, but they're just getting their toxic jollies off by dragging other people down. Man, I've run into 2 really cool people lately, and the cool people just seem so much cooler now that things are so much more toxic. Okay, the basic premise of why I believe... I used to present it as like a tinfoil hat theory, about how they make money off of the toxic players, but I don't think it's much of a stretch because... I'm getting a little bit of lag. The hardware encoder was being weird, so I went with a software encoder, but no. That is strange. I'm just looking at some stuff. Well, why did that spike up so high? That is strange. Oh. I'm going to be one of those people. Yeah, I don't know if I can switch. Okay, that was pretty much sub-bronze. Now he's already saying good game because he's throwing. Well, I'm not playing. And that's the thing now. If this were a casual game, I would just leave. He's clearly... And then it's funny with the toxic people, it's so toxic now that as soon as you decide that you're not going to be toxic, that you're not playing with the toxic people on the other team join forces with the toxic person on your team and all pretend they're not being toxic. It's kind of amazing. Which made it so cool that I got this guy... he had to have gotten his rank by playing with a friend of his, because he was seriously not much above bronze, but he was in low platinum. Yeah, that stuttering is no good. After this game, I'm going to go see if I can... Okay. Well, it looked like he might have stopped throwing, but a lot of times they'll do that if they go too far. They're like bipolar. Oh, wow, he just decided he was going for it and said, nope. He, like, literally slammed on the brakes rather than accept a pass from me. Oh, I said, please forfeit or stop throwing. Oh, he actually forfeit. Typically when they're doing that, they just want to hold you in for the whole game. He's like, oh my god, you're so bad. Why is Master in your name? Why? And that's what they do. They like, I had like the expert layman, and nobody ever looked at the second word. Like, oh, you're an expert? You're an expert? What are you an expert in? Oh, you're just the best person in the game? Like they're trying to project onto you like what they're doing, where they're trying to act way more awesome than they actually believe they are. So their screwed up theory of mind means that everybody else must be doing the same thing. So anything even remotely positive, and that's usually what will draw the attention of basically there's this thing when you get enough like young men who don't have role models and you get them into the same area and they do this thing where they're sort of a group against outsiders, but they're constantly just turning on their own. And that's kind of the behavior that's going on here. God damn it, I didn't fix my thing. And kickoff bail. Classy. Yeah, like almost every game somebody does a kickoff bail. He can make that goal back, and I'll join him. Take the one back you handed them, and I'll play. And the thing is, everybody knows that people are doing that on kickoff now. It is like happening all the time. Tack, like, what do you mean? It's like, you really think it should be happening that the start of almost every game somebody does a kickoff bail? And sometimes it's everybody. I'm not playing this. I would leave right now if I could. I guess we just wait for the forfeit. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's not healthy to even get engaging. But it's even more unhealthy to keep playing when somebody's deliberately sabotaging your team. That is really bad for you. And it makes you do the shit too. Like, certain things, if you engage with them, they just, well, we're almost at 3:30 here. I said, please forfeit. You already killed the game. Why are we still here? And this is what he's about. The toxicity. It's like, why wouldn't he forfeit at this point? It's because this is what he's here for. This is what he loves. Very sad. And I say, this is what winning looks like to a loser. He can end this, but he won't. He's all about the toxicity. Why are we still here? The Rager is holding us hostage. It's very sad that the friendless out in this way. Please get a life. Don't hold us hostage. I should put the screen up. Actually, it shouldn't be that hard to switch it. Properties, display 1. I can't, it's too small, I can't tell. Yeah, I'm the one messing things up here. I'm not doing anything. I just want to leave. It's like so toxic. Please forfeit. Please report the thrower. All. Who wants this other than the toxic thrower? Why does he keep this going? It's because this is all, oops, all he has. Dragging others down. Very sad. Bad for you. You've probably lost the ability to even play co-op. Correct. Amazing how the hostage taker is playing the victim. It takes some pretty creative reasoning to get there. I just wanted to play. The thrower killed the game. I wanted out, but the thrower doesn't let his victims go. He's like a vampire. Oh, by the way, it's up to 11-0, and there is no game here. It's very strange to pretend there is one. Unless you killed it and need to pretend you're not a piece of crap. I don't want to be here. This is the thrower's show. He can end this at any time. But he won't, because he's toxic. Fuck. What else am I gonna do while I wait for his tantrum to finish? I don't know, maybe this isn't appropriate, but like, it's amazing the psychology of the toxic people, because, like, I just want to play, but if there's no game, I'm not playing. And this is the thing, like, playing on the basketball courts, it's universal. Like, not every single, I mean, there are some slight variations between different, I always wait to report at the end because they have to get their, like, parting shot in, and if anybody at Epic, which I don't think anybody at Epic is, okay, I'm going to try to stop the stream, switch over to hardware, and start it again, and hopefully that will take care of the jitteriness. I'm also running this thing where, you know, you can see the little eyes and mouth light up when I'm talking, and that might be causing a weird problem. So I'm gonna, hopefully I'll be right back. And I think I'm back. Looks like I'm back. Okay. Sorry. I think I'm back. OBS is just getting so unstable lately. Just gotta wait and... Okay, I think I'm back again. Freaking OBS. I'm not gonna play anymore. I got some stuff to get out before. Okay. Okay. Basically, the idea is that you you can't behave certain ways if you are going to be held accountable in a real world situation. But they generate this online thing, and I'm not saying you should be tied to the same identity forever, but when you can just make a new name every day and not have to be held accountable for your conduct by the community, you start, you create better and better monsters. And then I know this is a weird thing, but like throughout history, there have been like groups of kids, like, whether they're thieves or bandits or whatever, where they kind of form their unspoken like group, and then and that's essentially what's happening here. Like, they are basically trying to draw in all the whales, basically the toxic kids who spend money. And it's my opinion that there's a lot of overlap between those who spend money. The Venn diagram of a toxic gamer with, you have that one circle, and then another circle of kids that are good at extracting money out of their parents, and it's going to be like all overlap. It shouldn't be a surprise. So I don't spend money on the game. I mean, I bought the game, but they don't give a crap about that now. They look at, what demographics are spending money in their game. And then those are the people you give a crap about. And that's pretty much standard anywhere. It's like wherever the money's coming from, that's who they're going to try to service. But this is just amazing. And if there's one takeaway from all of this is the absolute insane clown world Epic Games position. You go into a Rocket League game, and your teammate is AFK for the first 2 goals. Then he decides to start playing, but he's decided to join the other team, and then he owned goals twice. You're now 4 goals down, and he's in chat just being super toxic. And it doesn't even matter if he's in chat or not, but, just everything. And you decide, whatever crazy notion you have, that this is an unhealthy situation to be in. This person is really toxic, and I'm having a bad experience in your game, and I don't want to have a bad experience, so I'm going to leave the part of your game that's giving me the bad experience. But Epic says, oh, no. You are the toxic one because you're leaving a game. Toxicity is only about the people leaving the game, not the things causing the people to leave the game, not the complex sabotage that goes on in almost every game. Not the complex manifestations of toxicity that only emerged because you wanted to pretend you were reducing toxicity with chat filters. It's just lazy. It's just like the morally lazy. Like, wow, the actual moral thing is hard to do, so we'll just do some fake thing and then pat ourselves on the back. But they aren't even trying to do a moral thing. They hide the population numbers. That is never, ever, ever, ever a good sign by any organization ever. If they've this up to that point been open with their numbers on anything, then at some point they come up with some rationalization of why that information we've been provided to you for a long time, that everybody liked, we decided that's actually not good, and we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to explain why, and if we do, it'll be some BS corporate speak where we make it sound like less information is awesome. Why can't you get on board? The only reason to have turn public numbers private is because the numbers are about to do something you don't want people to see. Because if they're going to stay the same, nobody cares. If they're going to get better, you definitely want people to see that. There's only one scenario where you want to hide them, and that's where it's going to get worse. Well, how would they know that they're going to get worse? Is this a projection? No, I think they know they're going to get worse because they have basically cut off all the lambs from the wolves, or from escape. Like, they basically pinned in removed the escape of players that don't want to play toxic. And the toxic players can't get their jollies off playing other toxic players. They have to parasitize friendly and cooperative players. They can't get the rocks off just being dicks to each other, because for it to work, somebody has to basically feel the pain. And it does seem like Epic is just courting the toxic gamer. And, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't have enough familiarity with other games to tell if that is a drive in other games, but it wouldn't surprise me, especially games like Call of Duty and stuff where just like, and that'd be the thing. It'd be like a game like Call of Duty where it's like you just kill everyone on your team and then they leave, and then, disciplinary action is taken against your teammates you killed, because killing your team isn't toxic. Leaving a game where your teammate is killing you over and over again, that's the toxicity. Then it's this weird upside down clown world where it's like the non-toxic are getting called toxic, which, there was always projection from the throwers and toxic people, like, because they'd be super aggressive, but then as soon as anybody called them out, they would call those people out for being toxic, and then they could like play a little finger pointing game to where, everybody knows they're the toxic one, but they can pretend they're not. And then to watch Epic just feed into that and be like, no, you're not. And like, I'll be like, please. And I'll be like, I've tried it so many different ways to start off courteous, like, please stop throwing. Okay. 6 sub-bronze misses in the first minute. It stops being accidents. Please stop throwing. And then I'll be like, I'm not playing. I'm done if you keep throwing. And a lot of it is they're just trying to force people to leave the game because so that they take like the ban. They're just trying to force other people into the ban. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm not playing, and I'll just flip over and spin. And then they'll be like, oh my God, you're toxic. It's like, dude, refusing to play with a toxic person is not toxic. How retarded do you have to be to think that is what makes sense? And it's because, even though I'm platinum and a bronze would have at least made contact on those, when I was driving right at it and then veered off for no apparent reason several times, just at the right point to give the other team a free dunk on the goal, like, why would you think that's toxic? It's like, because you're not bronze, you're freaking platinum or diamond or whatever, and missing one of those is like a 1%er, and you've got 6. So go fuck yourself. I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I don't know, I guess I'm a little more lively today because I really liked the game. And the great thing about the game was, if you were in a toxic game, you can just leave. But now they'll be like, you are bad for leaving. And it's just so unbelievably toxic of Epic to do this. Like what kind of reasoning is this? Like, it'd be like, well, it is literally like killing the patient to cure the disease. It is, wow, we have this problem of toxicity. Oh, what's that about? Well, people are leaving games. Well, we don't want toxicity, so we'll just stop people from leaving games. We'll just punish people for leaving games. We won't. And this is really generous to say that, they might have been unintended consequences. But when you hide the population numbers right before you take an action that is going to shrink the population by feeding your cooperative players to the toxic players, you've played your hand. Like, this stopped being theory. Like, I never planned on like being the psychology of toxicity and, corporate malevolence, like, videos, but I just wanted to understand why people were doing what they're doing better than, other people, so I could offset the fact that I'm actually not that good at video games and I'm old. But when I kept digging in, I kept finding all kinds of messed up stuff, and people know, that it's messed up, and that there are all these like just dark motives of like so many of the players. But I wanted to talk about the guy that probably wasn't even gold, and it was amazing because I just want to end this on something positive. And he was probably, it's hard to assess skill, but just based on what he was able to do in the game at his maximum potential, he was probably silver. And I think he got up into platinum because of a teammate, and then he was queuing by himself. And he was so timid. At first I thought he was being one of those toxic people that just wants to sit in the goal. Where you don't have to contribute to your team, and your best chance of scoring a goal without having to interact with your teammates is to sit in the goal. But some people are actually just like, hey, I want to play defense. And he probably played with a friend who was better than him that was more aggressive. So that was just probably the role that he was used to. And there were a couple misses he had where I'm like, wow, that is just like a freaking bronze miss, maybe below bronze. Then I realized, oh, he's not throwing. He's just not, his just skills haven't developed very far and he got this higher rank. But I'm like, just the fact that he was not trying to undermine me. We won 11 out of 12 games. Like, boom, 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 boom. Just killing people. And I was like literally trying to coax him out of the goal to do stuff. Cause I'd like cycle back and I'd be like looking for him, so I can come behind him and he's like still in the goal. And like over the span of the games, it was like a squirrel in the park. You're trying to get him, you're trying to get him to come over and like eat from your hand. You're like, come on, you can come out of the goal. You can score, like you can be more aggressive. It's cool. And then there was a guy I played with today who was like really chill. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on the Rocket League Discord and just try to find cooperative people there, because even though there's still going to be a lot of those people there, if I require a mic, I'll be able to tell when I'm talking to them, like what they're about a lot better than, through text or by the time you get into a game, it's too late. They've already got you. And I've had that happen where you're like, somebody's like, hey, yeah, I'm, chill, casual, cool. And they get in and they're like raging. Like they're trying to hide the rage, but I think it's probably a slight, just the fact that you can get them on mic, like that level of accountability, like even though you can't see their face, the limited accountability of like your voice, like changes the dynamic. And I guess this was just a bitch stream. Because Epic, well, we knew this was coming. We knew Epic was going to kill the game. The only question was, how they were going to do it. And, the metaphor of, feeding people to the volcano for a good, so that it doesn't like drown the town in lava. It's something like that. They're just, because I just don't like seeing nice people parasitized. And that's what it is. And a lot of the people that are the nicest players, like, they're having a bad experience, but they couldn't conceive of the depth and the darkness of the motives of the people doing it. And that, like, Epic Games would not only promote this, but try to get, just get rich off of pain. You're selling the pain of the people you're supposed to be providing pleasure to. And you're reinforcing some very toxic behavior, because it's and a couple of people I talked to, off of the Rocket League Discord, they were just like, it is bad. Like they were there because like just queuing up like solo is like impossible now. But on the other hand, when you queue up with a teammate, and that's probably why, like the silver guy and I got up like halfway through platinum almost. Is we were just rolling everybody because like only like 1 in 10 teams wasn't throwing. We literally, okay, maybe it was 2, but like 8 or 9 out of 10 teams, they're just sabotaging each other. And it's weird to see it from the other side so stark. And the fact that I think I could get to Diamond with no teammate. Maybe not Diamond. Close, though. Because it's not only that they're not contributing, they are actively undermining you. They are literally, they're like in a superposition of your team and the other team. Whereas, you'll have the binary idea of like, well, they'll just switch teams and then they just play on the other team. But, they will, just the number of times you'll see somebody like, oh, they are perfectly set up. That is a straight on shot. He might not get it in, but he's definitely going to get it close. And then you see it go off some other way. And it's like, and then they approach the ball they have the time. They can approach the ball any way they want. Then they approach it at this weird angle that gave them no options but to pass to the other team. It's like, I know what you're doing. So hopefully maybe I can start building up a group of people that actually aren't toxic and just want to play and be friendly. But yeah, the population will draw down. Things will just keep getting more toxic, and they'll be. I mean, they're right now. almost every game starts off with a kickoff bail. Almost every game. That's how bad it is. Because that's the one you can get away with. When you're trying to like sabotage, but like hide that you're sabotaging it. It's weird. It's this weird game where like, and it's weird to watch on the other side where two guys are both trying to sabotage each other, but also act like they're not trying to sabotage each other at the same time. It's almost like the South Park where the kids were playing baseball, but like nobody wanted to go into the after season. So like all the kids were finding creative ways to like throw the game. But then they ran across this team that worked really hard at throwing and could even bat themselves out by hitting the ball into somebody's glove. Like that's like the game that's happening in Rocket League right now. Except it's not like I just want to lose so I can have my summer. It's I need other people to feel pain. And Epic's like, well, let me facilitate that. Oh, I should call it here. I'm just bitching. And I don't want to be the bitch channel. That it's such an easy thing to do to just complain about stuff. And it's really easy to gather a following that way, but I don't want to be about that. There doesn't seem to be much backlash on this decision. Not that backlash would change their minds, but I don't know. I will predict private Rocket League servers are going to be a thing if they aren't already, and I'll be looking forward to that because, you know, I don't imagine it would be that hard to set something up, although, you know, distance would be a problem. Okay, well, I am the expert layman. This is Rocket League and how it's going to die at the hands of Epic feeding nice people to the toxic ragers. I am the expert layman. You all have a great day.